What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 4. Sleepers and studs. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. Welcome to the channel. If you're a first-time viewer, we do NFL videos every day. So be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. And if you stick around to the very end after all my picks, and after I show you the Draft Dashboard daily fantasy tools, I'll give you a secret pick that's going to have a huge week 3 and no one else is going to be talking about. Okay, in this video, I'm going to give you a sleeper and a stud for each position. At quarterback, I like Phillip Rivers, who has a great matchup versus a bad San Francisco defense who is already depleted with injuries and who has given up the 5th most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. Rivers has declined slightly over the first 3 games. Oh, it's really nice that we have 3 weeks in the books because now we have the last 3 weeks of information at a glance next to every player. So we can see Rivers scored 33 DraftKings points his first game of the season, and then 23, and then 17. Not a great game last week. I think this is a Phillip Rivers bounce back game that will be closer than a lot of people think. Rivers should have 3+ touchdowns in week 4 if he can stay away from throwing those interceptions. He should hit value no problem. Okay, now for a low salary quarterback that may fly under the radar. I like Andy Dalton down here at 5,400 DraftKings salary, 2,000 more on FanDuel. Dalton is facing one of the worst defenses in the league, the Atlanta Falcons, who give up the 4th most points to fantasy quarterbacks. Now, Andy Dalton is no Drew Brees, but we saw how New Orleans ripped up this Atlanta secondary. Dalton is performing around his salary level, scoring over 20 DraftKings points in his last 2 games. I feel like Dalton is going to have a breakout game here with AJ Green and Tyler Boyd. We know Matt Ryan will put up points, forcing Dalton to air it out. Okay, let's take a look at running backs. My stud running back for week 4 is Ezekiel Elliott, facing the Detroit Lions defense, who is about middle of the pack overall, but they give up the 3rd most fantasy points to opposing running backs. Elliott has a high floor and a high ceiling, which he hasn't reached yet so far. Zeke has scored 18, 20, and 19 DraftKings points in his last 3 games. Not bad production for his price down here, almost 2,000 less than Alvin Kamara. I was on Kamara last game, but may fade him this week versus a Giants defense who've been able to stop the run so far this year. I think Ezekiel Elliott breaks out this game versus Detroit, who have not been able to stop the run. This should be a huge day for Zeke, especially with Dak struggling and the lack of quality receivers over there in Dallas. Zeke, baby. Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all the tools for NFL, MLB is still going, NBA is right around the corner. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Now for a low salary running back, I like Marshawn Lynch, a guy who yet again I've been underestimating. Way down here at 4,800 DraftKings salary and 1,600 more on FanDuel, Marshawn Lynch is facing the Cleveland Browns defense, who is good overall, but they give up the 7th most fantasy points to opposing running backs. Lynch is seeing over 20 touches a game and looks to be the clear-cut back in Oakland right now. Lynch is taking 51% of the snaps and touches the ball 51% of the time he's on the field. This is an interesting spot for Marshawn Lynch in week 4, who has scored 13, 15, and 18 fantasy points in the last 3 games. Okay, who do we have at wide receiver? I have to go with Odell Beckham Jr. as my wide receiver stud for week 4. Beckham Jr. is facing the New Orleans Saints, who are the 2nd worst defense overall and give up the absolute most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. Odell Beckham had a bad week 2, but outside that, week 1 he had 25, and last week he put up 23 DraftKings points, averaging 12 targets per game with a rush attempt mixed in. Odell Beckham is poised to pop versus this New Orleans secondary, who is in total shambles. The only issue with this pick is you have to remember Odell Beckham has Eli Manning throwing him the ball. Not the most elite arm back there, but with 12 targets a game, they should be able to connect on enough to get it done in week 4. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and then we'll send you $100 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, moving down here in the salary. For my wide receiver sleeper pick, I like Tyler Boyd over there with Andy Dalton and AJ Green versus the Atlanta Falcons, who are the 5th worst defense in the league, and they give up the 10th most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers. I think AJ Green sucks all the coverage, leaving Tyler Boyd open all over the field. Boyd is down here at 4,600 DraftKings, 1,200 more on FanDuel. I really like this play. Boyd has not disappointed in the last 2 games, scoring 21 and then 29 fantasy points last week, averaging 8 targets per game in the last 2 games. Boyd could be that breakout receiver in week 4 that shoots you to the top. Okay, moving on to the tight end position. My stud this week for tight end is Travis Kelce. Once again, I can't go with Gronk versus Miami. I would rather pay $6,800 for Travis Kelce with Patrick Mahomes, who has a variety of weapons and can spread the ball around. Gronk is all the Patriots have right now, so they can double cover him and lock him down while the other receivers are still trying to figure out their routes. Pay up for Travis Kelce. He scored 22 DraftKings points last game on 10 targets. He's a beast, and Mahomes is the real deal. It's another great matchup for Kelce versus a Denver defense that has given up the 7th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. If you need a low-priced tight end, take a look at Austin Hooper over there in Atlanta. Facing one of the worst defenses in the league, the Cincinnati Bengals have not been good, giving up the 4th most fantasy points to opposing tight ends. Hooper is playing at home in a game that should be high scoring. He's getting about 5 targets per game, and I think that increases here in week 4. Way down at 2,900 DraftKings, you don't need much from Austin Hooper, who scored 17 DraftKings points 2 weeks ago and was able to muster 7 last week. So we didn't have a terrible day for a low price. I think Austin Hooper is a good play here in week 4 at 2,900 DraftKings salary and 2,100 more on FanDuel. If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. You've unlocked the bonus content. Hey, thanks for hanging around. My secret sleeper pick for week 4 is Antonio Callaway for the Cleveland Browns, facing a bad defense in the Oakland Raiders, who gave up the 4th most fantasy points to opposing wide receivers so far this year. Okay, so after Tyrod Taylor went down with an injury last week in that Browns game, the #1 drafted QB, Baker Mayfield, comes in and absolutely rips it up. The energy in that building was insane. Mayfield was throwing darts left and right, took the Browns to their first win in a long time. I don't think Baker Mayfield made one mistake that game, all while under pressure in his NFL debut. And after all that, the Browns head coach said he had to look at the film and decide who the best QB for the team was moving forward. Look at the film? Look guys, the decision makers over there at the Browns organization are at the point they need to be mentally evaluated. And I still see here that Tyrod Taylor is listed as the starting quarterback on the depth chart. If the Browns don't start Baker Mayfield, I don't like this play. But we have to assume the Browns will start Baker Mayfield in week 4, which skyrockets the value of this guy Antonio Callaway. Still 4,300 on DraftKings and only 200 more on FanDuel. Thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. We make videos for NFL every single day, so click that bell notification so you get notified when we post a new video. And please everyone, smiggity smash that like button. It really helps out the channel. We really appreciate it. Oh, and please make a comment below with who you think your absolute favorite player is for week 4. I'd really like to know what you guys think.